Alright, let's get back down here. There's the upholstery for the chairs in the kitchen I have to finish. All my guitars. Yeah, let's get back to working on the Alesis DM6. Get all this buttoned up. Alright, so let's get back into this thing. So you can see I have the wires already split and tinned up as far as soldering goes. The white wires are the ones that you want. That's the trigger for the snare rim. And right now I want to get this plug. So the plug that I'm using is a monophono plug. And you have the two terminals on one side, and you have a corner terminal. That corner terminal right there is the ground, which you have to connect, and those two are hot. One is switched. So the one that's on the bottom is a constant. That one right there is the switched one. So when you plug in your cable, it'll make the only one way will work, and when you unplug the cable, it'll switch back over to the snare drum. So let's go ahead and start getting this thing soldered up. And yeah, so start off with the ground. I'm not going to put any heat shrink tubing on the ground. Really don't need to. It's the other two that you need to worry about that are hot. So like I said, I already had the wires tinned up, and which made this a lot easier to solder. And then next I want to get the white wire connected to the outer terminal, not the one that's on the side, but the outer terminal, and that will be a constant hot. So that's going to be coming from the module itself. So I'm going to put a heat shrinking tubing on there, which is going to make it really rough because it's a short heat shrinking tubing. Now I kind of looked into this, my stock of heat shrinking tubing, and I don't have anything that'll fit over the plug itself. I was going to heat shrink everything, and yeah, I have a what looks like to be for 8 gauge wire and 4 gauge wire, but nothing that's going to fit over this. Alright, so I have the hot connected, and that is to the closed part of the switch. And slide my heat shrinking tubing over there. Don't mind my hands. I've been doing some furnace cleaning, and it's that time of the year again, and I ended up scraping up my hands pretty good. Now you don't want to burn these, you just want to get them to shrink. So you want to be a little bit quick with it. Sorry about the camera going in and out. And try not to melt the plastic that's on the plug itself. So next I want to connect the wire to the switched side of the terminals on the plug. That wire will be from the snare drum itself for the outer ring. And it's just looking here, trying to figure out which way I can tie these up to where the wires aren't going to be twisted all crazy. So again, I got solder on the tip of the wire, so it's going to make it a lot easier to do this. And when you tin up wires, you want to make sure that the solder gets sucked up into the wire when you're tinning them. And then leave like a little bit of a drop on there, and that will help with connecting to their terminals. So right now, I'm pretty much got everything basically, where I need it to be. It was a little bit of a pain in the ass to get the shrink tubing around the terminal, because the shrink tubing started to shrink because of the heat of the wire from the soldering gun. So that's about it. Connections are made. I'm going to test it next to see if everything is working properly. It should. I shouldn't have any problems with this. So let's go into that next. There you go. Okay, so let's test this thing out. Plug's all in place, everything's connected. I have a patch cord, kind of one of the cheap ones that are used or come with guitars. I didn't cut either end. The other end is in the cymbal. I just plugged this one in, so let's test to see if this thing works. Alright, I didn't change the setting, but it sounds like the rim. And there's no sound coming from the rim on the snare drum. Unplug it. Now I got sound from the rim again. Alright, that's just the way I wanted it. Alright, so it's all buttoned up. Looks like shit. I don't like electrical tape. I'd rather have used heat shrinking tubing, but I don't have anything that big for this. So now everything is tested. It's working. I got the wire the harness all, buttoned up, messy, but that's what happens when you use electrical tape. But anyways, I tried to look all over online for some way to add another cymbal or add something to the Alesis DM6, and I couldn't find anything other than somebody in a blog wanting to just put a Y adapter and tie a cymbal into another cymbal, and basically the cymbals will both sound the same. There was no adjustment at all. This here, well, I guess this is the first video that's on the internet of someone doing this to the Alesis DM6, and hopefully it can help out anybody who wants to add another cymbal or maybe another drum pad or something to it. But just remember that you will lose one to gain another off of the snare in order to accomplish this. And remember, the white wire is the wire that you want to tap into to make the connection for your plug, or if you're just going to just tie some wires together. I don't recommend doing that. It's very insecure, and the amount of vibration that happens with your drum set, it could come loose. But anyways, without upgrading my drum set, now I just added a third cymbal to it, and yeah, so this should work out pretty good. Take care, have a good one, and take it easy.